Dodgets pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Dodgets wins the game at the buzzer! Let's go! Picked off by Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala to the rim. Oh, great block! James out of nowhere, skies to the rim. Well, Manny being Manny.
Manny being Manny, man. He's great, man.
Welcome to a new episode of Manny being Manny, a weekly auction recap. Last week, we discussed some cards that I was kind of reviewing because there's big auctions that were ending via Only Alts Liquid auction and PWCC's Premier auction that were ending. And there were some cards that were similar that were selling. So I kind of want to do a price comparison for this week's episode and kind of a conclusion on what I'm seeing between these two auctions. Also, I want to get into Tom Brady. There's some big news that just came out, and we want to discuss those things that came down, and it involves a lawsuit. So stick around. Well, let's get started. Let me bring this in. We have first, I want to talk about Leuca Dodgets. And this is the card that I was talked about last week that I'm eyeing because of Luca's market is going down, it seems like. I know he's injured. He hasn't played in the playoffs at all, but his team looks like they're going to move on to the next round, and him coming back could help with Dallas Mavericks. I mean, he averages like 30 points a game. Well, Premier auction, PWCC Premier's auction, and Only Alts Liquid auctions both had the same card out of 49. Premier's was out of 5 out of 49, and Only Alts was actually 49 out of 49. So the prices, Premier sold for $84,000, and that was on Saturday, and Only Alts sold for $72,500. That's a difference of $11K. So with these two cards, it seems like Premier auction sold for a little bit more than Only Alts. And let's see Card Ladder's data. It gives the value of this card for $83,000. But the one thing I do want to say is Only Alt does not report their sales or Card Ladder to Card Ladder. So when I'm looking at Card Ladder, you don't see any of Only Alts auctions on here, which, I mean, is valuable information to know that when you're looking at this, there's no Only Alt auctions on here, sales. So the last sale was the Premier auction at 84. Before that, in January, same card sold for over $100,000. So it looks like the market of this card is continuing to go down. How far does it go? I thought we might have hit a floor. It seems, I mean, this is out of 49. There's only a population of 14. So it's strange that Leuca, people are saying, could be the next big thing. If he wins a championship, his market could go through the roof. So I'm still curious about his market. It seems to still be going down. And I thought it hit a floor, but it looks like it hasn't yet. And let's compare two other cards. Steph Curry. Two of these cards were in the same two auctions, Premier auction. This is out of the 500. It's the refractor. For PWCC, it sold for $600,000 or $60,000, and on Liquid Alt, it sold for $47,500. And the difference of this is $12K. So it's around that $12 to $11K difference between these two auctions. And here's another two cards. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks besides Tom Brady, Joe Montana, and all them. But Aaron Rodgers, we have his refractor. PWCC sold for $40,800, and Liquid Aux sold for $36,000. The difference here was a little bit smaller at $4,800. And also, this is based on Lameem James' account. You guys probably all follow him, but he even put up some data about golden card that sold in January for 43,000, and now that same card for all sold for 17, almost 18K. And I think the reason why I'm bringing these two up is I think there's a couple reasons why this is happening. People are scared that the market is going down, but I honestly think, like I said, you're not going to see any of these sales on Card Ladder as well. So it's kind of nice to bring them up, the actual sales for Only Alt. I'm seeing three things. Only Alt has week-long auctions compared to Goldens and PWCC, which are monthly auctions, and they have those premier type cards. Only Alt has those premier cards in their week-long auctions. So I think that could have an effect. Also, Only Alt does not have extended bidding. So when it gets close to that 9 p.m. on Thursday, I believe when it ends, there's no extended bidding. You could get sniped. So people are waiting, it seems like, to get the good deals, like kind of like how they do on eBay. The difference between eBay and Only Alt is you're not able to bid unless you have money in your account. And that comes to my third reasoning, or third kind of idea of why Alt's kind of selling a little bit less, is you have to have money in your account to bid. So you can't really. And I know everyone's talking about how eBay has like the shill bidding that's going on. You really can't shill bid on Only Alt unless you have money in the account. So it's not getting. We had Rick Probstein on. Cage and Andrew were asking about shill bidding, and his idea was that some of these auctions are getting to that 70 to 80% right away to kind of hit that floor for the card. Well, in Alt, you can't do that, like I said, unless you have money in your account. In this case, this Alt is the only auction that I'm seeing that the cards are like 99 cents until there's like a couple days left. So it looks like people are actually bidding like 2 days out instead of like right at 8 and getting your bid in for extended bidding. I do believe that that's a big reasoning. What is the being able to have money in your account, because who's going to want to put 17K, 40K, 60K into Alt's account just to have there? I think Alt may have to relook at that, and they said they were. Why they're doing it, and it makes perfect sense, and I completely agree. It's a good idea. Is they want people that buy the card to buy the card, if that makes any sense. You don't want people to buy it just to shill it up and cancel it. So they're trying to eliminate that. You have the money in the account. Once you win the bid, it takes the money out. The seller gets paid right away and everyone's happy. That just limits, it sometimes could limit your price at the high end of what people would buy for. And if they figure out how to do this, it's really tough. I think Alt's going to kind of catch up with the market. My thing, they do have cards that are above the market. These are just ones that I pointed out. I do like Alts, how they have the type of cards they have are premium cards it seems like every 2 weeks. So I do like that aspect of it. I just think to get to that next level, maybe they'll have to figure out something with that money being in the account to bid. And like I said, it's tough, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. Let's see. I want to talk Tom Brady for a little bit. Leland, let me share my screen. Back in when Tom Brady retired, we had a football that sold, and everyone knows about this football. It is the last Tom Brady's, as it's described, Tom Brady's last touchdown pass football. This football was a starting bid at 100,000. It sold for $500,000. Well, it just came out that maybe there's something going on in the back end. Well, the guy that, or the girl or guy that bought this Tom Brady ball actually Tom Brady, the person that bought that ball actually didn't pay for it and actually got a lawyer. And with that lawyer came something that I didn't really know about, but Leland stating that it was his last touchdown football, which it isn't, um, basically made the buyer not be able to buy the football. So that went unsold. So everyone that thought it was a sale for 500,000, it's not. But I do want to bring up, they also brought, it's kind of funny because once you see this, it looks like Heritage actually has a football and they changed their wording, or they started off with the correct wording, what it should be, through this lawsuit, which is Tom Brady 624th career touchdown pass. This is the football that actually broke the record, and they put in quotation the standing NFL record. If Leland would have said, as of now, it's the record or something like along those lines, then the buyer would have to pay for that. But since they put it as it is the last touchdown football, then they don't have to pay. So going into auctions like this, you're going to start seeing these type of wording in the description. But yeah, this is going on, and it's reserved, if any, will be posted at 5/9, April 9th, and the max bid is at 6,500 or 250. And like I said, this is not going to be it's his record-setting football, but not his last touchdown. So I'm curious on what this ends. Drop it in the comments what you think it might end at. Let me show you what I kind of briefly talked about. Pull it up. Right now it is right here. And here's the article that came out. So it's actually big news. Sports Illustrated is talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy, the purchaser, or this football has its own little documentary, because from when the last touchdown, what happened, to now it's being bought, to now it's not bought because of the wording in the description. But when he announced his retirement, this ball sold for $500,000 to an unnamed buyer on March 13th. And then it says on Thursday, Jeffrey is actually it seems like a hobby lawyer. He actually was a lawyer for PWCC when they were accused of cutting cards and trimming cards. So if this name looks familiar, it's because of that. Said he was very unhappy about Brady coming out of retirement and said he wanted Leland's, the auctioneer, to void the sale. Per Ravel, the buyer never paid Leland's for the ball and had only won it at the auction on behalf of Leland's. The company used language to describe the ball as Brady's last touchdown pass football. And then according to the auction listing, which is inaccurate because we know he's returning to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he's probably going to throw a touchdown. At this time, it was an honest description. Had they described it as his last one as of now, and that's where that wording for Heritage is, where I thought was funny. Well, it's accurate, not really. I guess that's how you're supposed to describe it, because it's not his record. It's his record breaking, but there's going to be more touchdowns. There would be little recourse, but the way to describe it was definite. So that's why the buyer did not have to pay for that football. So this $500,000 football is a void. So we were all excited about that selling. I think it was the day after is when Tom Brady came back. So I was sure that thinking about it, I was thinking that Tom Brady would have done something for this buyer, but because he came back, but I don't know. It's crazy to think that stuff like this can happen. Just be aware, read the descriptions if you're expected to bid on some of these auctions. But we'll keep it short and sweet. That's all I have for this week. We could go actually, let's do that before I go. Let's go into some of the PWCC's weekly auctions that's ending. It seems like I talked about this last week, their flash sale, there was like 60 items. Now it looks like it's close to 800. So a lot more people are putting their cards up for this flash auction. And to remind people what that is there's a deadline. They extended the deadline for these flash auctions for Wednesday, so they get 4-day bids. And so if you're thinking about, let's say on the weekend, nothing's happened, and then all of a sudden, for example, Vlad Guerrero on Monday hits 3 home runs, and you missed that initial bid, you could put it in this flash sale. The market goes up and down. We all know through each day. Here's Tyrese Maxey, and that could have been, he had a big game with Philadelphia. They wanted in the sale to sell it for this Sunday. So maybe this is actually really good for the sellers on PWCC. I like this a lot. But let's go into the auctions. We're going to sort highest bid. Looks like the highest right now is a flawless case, and 2020 flawless case. We also have that Giannis rookie prism. It's at 16.5. This is actually a really good card. Everyone's talking about him being one of the greats. And as you saw in my previous slide, that his card has went down from 40K to 70K on the green. If this guy's going to be one of the greats, this is a perfect time to buy him. It seems like his market's going down when everyone thinks that he's going to be top 10 player. So it doesn't make sense to me. Great time to buy some Giannis. We have some Messi's, some Pokemon cards. Here's Steph Curry's, Connor McDavid. It looks like I said, these PWCC weekly auctions, they have some great cards in here. Make sure you scroll through this. If you want to bid, it ends in 2 days. You have to get your bid in, your initial bid in before Sunday at 10 o'clock, I believe. And then the extended bidding starts. I want to see, there's close to 8,000 assets lots in this auction on top of the 800. So there's a lot of chances. There's many cards that go or go without any bids, and that maybe it's because they have a lot of cards at 1 week. So go to the lowest cards, and maybe you'll find some of your PCs or a steal on some of these cards. And with that, I think we should call it for this time. I want to thank you if you're listening. So week 3, I'm going to continue to do this. If you have any recommendations on what you want to see, like I said, this is all I want to do is bring all the auctions to one source and then bring it out to you guys, so you know all the latest news, updates on any of these auction houses. Thank you. Have a good day.